Hello and welcome back to Unforgettable Crafts. You're here today with Rebekah, the owner and CEO of Unforgettable Crafts. Today we are going to be making 3 different sugar scrubs, a coffee scrub, 2 salt scrubs with different salts, and lastly, our first time ever, a facial toner. So join me today if you're interested in making any of these. I am providing recipes. So today we're going to start with the first part of the process, which is getting everything laid out and ready to go. So I already did most of this. I laid out all the different pieces and materials that we're going to have. Hopefully I got everything. I may have forgotten something, so bear with me. But the first thing that I really want to do is just take my alcohol. I put what kind of alcohol?
Isopropyl.
I put the isopropyl alcohol in here, and then I just spray it into my bowls and I wipe them down. So these have been washed previously as well, but I just like to have it nice and super clean before I get started. All right, done. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the fact that I got these recipes from different places. One of the places that I looked was Brambleberry, which is a fantastic company that I get a lot of my products from, or materials for my products. And then I also looked online, found some random recipes, tweaked them a little to be exactly what I wanted them to be. And we're just gonna see how it works, how it turns out today. So the first one we're going to do is my product, the Siren, in a sugar scrub. So, going to lay out my bowl and we will start mixing the product together. We're starting with the Siren again. So this will be sugar, poppy seeds, agave extract, our fragrance oil of choice. If you would like to have a mica powder for extra color, you can add that. I'm still debating on if I want to do that or not, or just leave it out altogether. And then as our protectant or a preservative, we have Optifen. So those are the different products we're going to use. You can find the description down below. You'll find the recipe for this. So we're going to start with sugar. It is 16 ounces. So I'm going to grab my sugar. I just got this little guy and I'm going to open it. And you know how sugar is. It goes everywhere when you open them. See, look at that. Oh my gosh. Okay. So we're going to turn on my little scale here, and I want 16 ounces of sugar, the seeds, the mica, and then I'm going to mix that first. So go ahead and start pouring this bad boy in here to 16 ounces, which is 1 pound. Oop, we're getting close. Oh my gosh. There we go. 1 whole pound. This bag is 2 pounds. It's the cutest little guy. All right. Now, seeds. Seeds are going to be a teaspoon. I did not grab a teaspoon. Hold 1 second. Will I disappear? 1 little teaspoon. Okay. You guys ready? Oh, it's a pourable thing. I don't like that. We're gonna open it this way. 1 teaspoon. The cute little guy. It don't fit in there either. This is gonna be fun. Tink tink to tink tink. Look how cute they are. Can you see those? Little tiny guys. Just a fun fact, maybe not so fun fact. If you eat poppy seed, like on poppy seed breads, etc., you can show positive for a slight amount of alcohol in your system. This doesn't need to be 100% exact, but I like to be close. So there we go. And now we're just going to mix that together. And if we wanted to add mica, it would be at 1/16 of a teaspoon. So like extra tiny amount. So we'll see how this looks after the fact, and then I'll decide if I want to add a powder. For my Siren, I usually use like a pretty mermaidy aquamarine kind of color. All right, that was easy. Okay, the next step we're going to take is to add the agave extract, which is 1.0. This is actually an oil-soluble extract at 1.0, so I don't even have to measure, but I probably should just to be safe. So we're gonna do it anyway. And oh my goodness, we're literally at the end. We're still on the 1.0. They did a really good job. Good job, Brambleberry, on filling that to 1.0. And now it's time for the 0.5 ounces of fractionated coconut oil. So we've got this little guy here. I'm weighing out my scale. Come on, little man. There we go. Reminds me of like a suntan lotion bottle. There we go. Done. Okay. And then lastly, our fragrance oil. And the fragrance oil is at 6 milliliters or 0.2 ounces. So I'm going to zero out my scale. I'm going to grab my siren and add 0.2 ounces. There we go. And now we mix again. And it looks so pretty and white. Now the question is, do I add the mica powder to give it that pretty flare of color that might attract the customer more? Oh my God, I love the smell of the siren. Seriously? Holy goodness, I love it. It is salted caramel, pistachio, and coconut. Beautiful. It's pretty. I like the way it looks. Okay, and then we add the Optifin last as its preservative. So now I need to make up my decision. Do I make it a color or do I leave it this pretty white? You gonna weigh in, Mr. Unforgettable? Does this look like a mermaid to you?
It kind of looks like sand.
It does look like sand.
I think color pop would catch people.
All right. It's 1/16 of a tablespoon, so it's a teeny tiny amount. I'll be right back. Okay, I am back with a Aqua Pearl mica powder. And this comes from Brambleberry. And this is the one that I use for my siren. So this is 1/4 of a teaspoon. And I want a teeny tiny itty bitty bit. I think that should be enough. We'll see. All right, let's mix this together and see what happens. I try not to use a lot of mica powders anymore. It's literally all over our home. And Mr. Unforgettable notices it often. And we have a record player and it is on top of our record player. Luckily it has a cover on it. So that made him an unhappy camper. So I try not to use the mica powder as much anymore because I use them very heavily in the bath bombs. But, okay, let's see. Still needs quite a bit of mixing, but you can see the color starting to come into it. Do you think that's enough color or do you think I should add a little more? It's kind of light.
I'd say a little more.
Oh my gosh.
Just a touch more.
Mr. Unforgettable said I can do it. I'm doing it because he said I can. All right, let's try that. Yeah, that darkened it up a little bit. It's still happening, but I think that's good. I don't want to take away from the product itself by just adding a bunch of color, so I like this. All right, and now the optifin is the last step. And that is 0.1 ounce, so it's a very small amount. All right, let me zero out my scale here. I think I might want to do a dropper. Now I can tell you these droppers, I bought a 100-piece set of these little tiny droppers here. They're 3 milliliter droppers, but I will tell you, these things pop very easily right here on this seam. It's very aggravating, but if you're using them for a short period of time, they do the job. I'm going to drizzle this on here until we hit 0.1. Right there it was. All right, I'm going to squeeze all the yuckies still in there out and close that bad boy up so I do not spill it. I am very clumsy. All right, so now I'm going to continue mixing, mix that in really well, and then we're gonna set this aside because I'm gonna jar them all up after. I think that's really pretty. Yeah, if I was to say a siren, and I would think of a pretty little siren-y mermaid, I think that color matches really well. What do you guys think? Yeah. All right, siren sugar scrub is now officially done, and we're going to move on to the Dapper Chap sugar scrub next. Next, we're heading on to the Dapper Chap sugar scrub. This one is going to have 18 ounces of granulated sugar, 1.5 ounces of jojoba oil, 0.5 ounces potassium cocoate. I have no idea how to say that. Please correct me down below. Poppy seeds at 4 tablespoons, a fragrance oil of your choice at 0.2 ounces or 6 milliliters, and then more optifin at 2.5 milliliters, which is actually 0.08 ounces. So we're gonna go ahead and start on this one. The mixture on this is going to be jojoba and the potassium cocoate, and we're gonna mix that together. And the recipe that I found says that it should be pretty cloudy and thick whenever we get this one mixed together. So here's our cute little jojoba. And I've got my weight scale on and making sure it's zeroed. And we're going to 1.5. Oh, hello. That is messy. Not really, but. $1.5. All right. And now our potassium cocoate, which is 0.5 ounces. So I'm going to use my little dropper as soon as I get that unscrewed. There we go. And we're going to do 0.5. That will give us a total of 2.0 because I'm not going to zero out my weigh scale. That is a thick. Look at that. Much thicker than the jojoba oil. Or jojoba. Well, that's what I think how you actually say it. Jojoba oil. But I don't know. People say it different ways, and I like jojoba. Just probably means it's wrong. All right, ta-da! Let me put the lid back on that big boy. Okay, and now it says we're going to mix together and it will be cloudy and thick. And that is definitely true. Can you see that okay? It's got like a yellow hue to it. Interesting. Okay, the next thing we're gonna do is add in our fragrance oil of choice. This one is our beautiful fragrance called the Dapper Chap. It has been one of our highest sellers in the last few months for the men's side of our line. And that is 0.2 ounces. So I'm gonna zero out my scale with the spoon in it. 1 and 2. Beautiful job. All right. And then Optifen. So that one is the 0.08. So we're going to use our dropper again. And of the two mixtures we just put in here, that will give us the 0.1 ounce together at the 0.2 and 0.8. And hopefully this little dropper loves me and does not pop on me, because that makes my life a lot more difficult when they pop. What was I making? Oh, I was making the air diffusers a few days ago. We had run low on the Dapper Chap actually. And so I was making 15 of those, and I think I went through like 5 of these droppers. Super annoying. But I made it and it was done. All right, so we're gonna mix this together. Still has that kind of cloudy coloring, the yellowy color down here. Make sure it's nicely mixed together. I love spinning bowls. I know it's silly, but it makes me feel like a chef. Like you're just like, oh yeah, I know what I'm doing. It looks amazing. All right, and then I'm going to, my husband's laughing at me. I'm gonna mix this separately, and since I'm using a different bowl, I'm going to spray this one down with the alcohol. And we're going to put the sugar and seeds together over here, and then we're going to add the liquid into this. So we're gonna use a different sugar for this one. I'm using the Florida Crystals, which is a raw cane sugar. It's a little bit darker in color. It's not that like bleached white that we're used to seeing in regular sugars. Table, I guess, sugars. Okay, and so sugar is 18 ounces, so a little bit over a pound. Get it at the right angle, and it seems to pour a little bit faster, at least in my mind. And we're still going. We're only at 12. So we've got quite a bit left here to get to 18. So my scale will transition over to 1 pound at the 16 ounces, and then I'll need 1 pound 2 ounces. I've got a little bit of a chunky guy in there that's right in the way. There we go. 1.4. We're almost there. Come on, little persons. Cute little sugars, come out. There we go. Haha, we made it. Okay. And then the seeds. So we're using poppy seeds again, but this one is 4 tablespoons, so a whole lot more than that last remedy recipe that we used. So we're gonna zero this out. I just wanna know what 4 tablespoons equals, so. These little guys do not want to come out. 1. And these really help with the exfoliation portion of the sugar scrub. So it kind of adds a little bit more heft to it, because sugar scrubs are a lot less aggressive than the salt scrubs. And this little guy does not want to move. 1 second. There we go. Use the tools you have, right? Okay. 3, 4. Boop. Done. And that is 1.1 ounces, just for future reference. Okay, and now we're going to mix together. So I'm going to go ahead and use a different spoon over here, because the other one's wet at the moment. I just kind of, oh, that's pretty. I like that. Gives it a lot more color pop with the black poppy seeds in there. Very pretty. Okay, and now we're going to pop that little guy over there and make sure that's liquid. I definitely think I like the other spoons better. They have like the spatula top on them. That's why I purchased them, because it's kind of a spoon and a spatula together. And it's fantastic, especially if you're playing with eggs and not body products.
A spatula.
A spataloon. I like that. Great branding there. All right. Ta-da! And then we're going to mix this together. God, I love the Dapper Chap too. I think we have some amazing smells, beautiful fragrances, and people really tend to migrate over to Dapper Chap. We reduced our gentleman line down tremendously in the in-person markets that we go to, and we've kind of dispersed out the other gentleman and lady lines that we're not taking to pop-up markets. We put them in like a ship-in shop that's right down the road from us, and a Antiques and Uniques, which you've seen on our YouTube videos before. And we're putting those there, and then we only have a limited supply, which is only 3 gentlemen, 3 ladies, and 3 specialty fragrances now. So this one is our top seller on the men's line, and then the Goddess is actually our top seller in our ladies line right now. So I think that is gorgeous. I don't think I want to add color to that. What do you think? You like it?
Yeah, I like it.
I was gonna add the hunter green, but I think this is perfect. It looks manly enough by itself and feminine enough if you want a masculine smell.
I don't know, maybe a little bit of green with the tan. Maybe be kind of cool.
Yeah?
Just a dash.
A dash? Okay, well, let's do it. Why not? First time trying the hunter green. And this also comes from Brambleberry. I ordered most of my micas from Brambleberry recently. Okay, let's see. Hopefully the color does not ruin the pretty. I don't think it will. I think it'll actually enhance it, but we'll see. Dum da da dum. Yeah, I think it gave it a little bit more depth. It doesn't, you can't see it a lot, but it's definitely got like the hint of green. What do you think?
Yeah, I like it.
Would you use this sugar scrub? There we go. All right. And what I was talking about earlier was that sugar scrubs are much more gentler on the skin. So if you just have some areas you're just trying to nourish a little bit, then it's fantastic for those areas. It's also great for sensitive skin, and so you're not hurting yourself. It can be used on the face because it's not aggressive like the salt scrubs. But the salt scrubs, they always caution you not to put it on your face because it's very abrasive. Because whenever the sugar hits warm water, it melts instantly, whereas the salt scrubs actually last a little bit longer, so they scrub the body a little bit harder. All right, that is what we've got. Moving on to the next one, which is the Beauty Sugar Scrub. And we are back to do the Beauty Sugar Scrub. So this one's a little bit different. We are going to be using the granulated sugar again, so we should be able to use the rest of what is in here if they did accurately put 2 pounds. That is a thing. You got to double check these people sometimes. All right. And, ooh, they just made it. I'm very impressed with Clover Valley at this moment. Okay, I'm gonna move that over to the side. And then we're gonna add these cool gold bursting beads. So I've never used these before, but they looked really cool. They're from Brambleberry. And whenever you add them into soap or a scrub, etc., when they hit warm water, they burst. So I'm really excited to see how these work and how they feel, but it's adding that extra bit of exfoliant. So we're going to pour these in. It reminds me of those little, the beads, the water beads for whenever you have plants and they expand with water and then you can put them in the bottom of the plant vase. Okay, and then let's see. Here, we're supposed to add a mica powder. So our mica powder for this is actually a gold color. So again, I'm gonna wait until the end to decide if I wanna add more gold to it because I don't know if that'll take away from these cool little gold beads. But our beauty is a gold color, which is the Gold Ultra Sparkle from Brambleberry. I think that's pretty. Kind of looks elegant, like a beauty. All right, the next thing we're going to we're going to use a separate bowl, which is gonna take me a moment. I'm gonna actually use this little guy instead of a big bowl. And we're going to do avocado oil, polysorbate 80, which is a water-soluble emulsifier. And we are going to add our fragrance oil. So this is what we're going to do next. So we have our granulated sugar, 1 pound, our gold bursting beads, which are 1 ounce. Now we're gonna do 5 ounces of our avocado oil. Oh, I forgot to tell you about the champagne extract from Brambleberry. 1 ounce of this little bad boy. Polysorbate is 0.3 ounces. And then our fragrance oil of choice is 0.3. And then the mica powder is 1 teaspoon if you're wanting to add that. So let's start with our avocado oil. Make sure our scale is zeroed out. 5 big ounces. Do 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 dum ba dum dum. Boop. Okay. And then we have our champagne extract at 1.0. Done. Okay. And then we're going to do our polysorbate at 0.3 ounces. So this guy is kind of hard to get things out of. It actually comes with a tiny little spoon. Sometimes I like to use this and plug them in. I bought this on Amazon and you can hold it open and that allows me to have a little bit better manipulation. And we're going for 0.3 ounces. So it's a very small amount that we're gonna be putting in here. And there it was. Okay. And then the next thing is our fragrance oil of choice at another 0.3 ounce. Point 2. You can do it. Oh my goodness, come on. Aha! We made it. Okay. And then this is where we will stir this together. And then we're going to mix it into here. So I'm gonna take this, we're gonna stir this. And that makes a rather cloudy mixture as well, like the Dapper Chap did. Okay. And then we're going to mix the oil into the sugar mixture. So I guess I should do that with this hand so you guys can see a little better on the camera. Here we go. It's a pretty golden color too. I really am enjoying the overall look, aesthetic of this beauty. There we go. Okay. And now we mix and create our official scrub. And I think the white sugar was a good choice on this one, because everything's looking really pretty gold already. Yeah, that's really pretty. I don't think I'm gonna add mica powder to this one. I'm gonna take away from those cute little gold beads. Now, a question I have seen has been, can I use salt scrubs and sugar scrubs? And the answer would be yes, you can. Personally, if I want to use one or the other, I'm going to choose the salt scrub for rough areas that I want like an abrasive connection to. And then I can use the sugar scrub for the rest of the week just to soften the skin well and not be so abrasive. And there we go. A gorgeous beauty scrub. I like it. And next, we're going to make our very first ever coffee scrub with real coffee grounds.